This is 4 Downs.
It's time to go 4 Downs here on Unsportsmanlike. Evan Cohen, the Ocho, and marathon runner Michelle Smallman here live in Madison, Wisconsin, ahead of Illinois, Wisconsin, ILL. And our Super Bowl champion and dad-to-be, Chris Canty, is back in New York City. Let's get it rocking and rolling with First Down.
First Down.
Giants-Lions. CeCe, we'll start with you. It seems like Jackson Dart is trending towards a return in this one. The Giants have been a tough out without him and are clearly a different team with him. Can they hand the Lions a loss and push Detroit further out of the NFC playoff picture?
Yeah, A-Ball says doubtful. The Giants have 7 straight losses in the month of November dating back to last season. It's the second longest streak for losses in a single month in the NFL next to the Raiders. I don't think that this Giants team is personnel to be able to take on a lot of the heavy lifting that you're going to ask surrounding a quarterback that has the injury history this season that Jackson Dart has. Clearly, they have to focus on continuing to develop him, but a part of that is protecting him, and that means that other guys on that offense have to step up. And Smalls, quite frankly, I don't know that they do have those other guys, and they're going up against a damn good defensive front from the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I would say no chance the Giants have it winning this game. Like, none. I would be utterly stunned if the Giants win this football game this weekend. I'm not sure, Smalls, if there is another game on the schedule that would be as surprising, for me, a result as the Giants beating the Lions. Now, you may be sitting, well, what about the Jets and the Ravens? Well, the Jets with Tyrod Taylor are going to be fine. Not good, but they'll be fine, right? They're
serviceable.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Like, they'll lose, but they'll be, like, I wouldn't be shocked if they won a 10-9 game against a banged-up Ravens team because Lamar's clearly banged up. But, you know what? Titans over the Seahawks. That would be more surprising. But you get the point.
Yeah, that would be shocking.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the other thing, Ab, to your point.
Yeah.
The Lions don't lose consecutive games.
Yeah, and to steal a phrase from Nuno, Miguel Barrera Teixeira, our producer, who, by the way, walked out in the hallway just now and just waved at everybody. All right, come on, I'm here. Go get me coffee. That happened. Don't think it didn't.
Oh wow.
Oh, but hang on, CeCe, because someone drank all the coffee and then didn't make a new pot of coffee for his teammates.
I'm supposed to make a new pot of coffee on the road at a place that I don't know where the coffee is?
Did you or did you not drink all the coffee?
Did I not make you a coffee this morning?
He did.
Have I not driven you everywhere in the world the last 2 days?
Well, only because you are the one that rented the car.
Because I was told to. Anyway, what were you going to say? Nuno, I didn't even know Nuno Mike.
Things are going great over here, CeCe, as you can tell.
No, we can just keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Next one.
Okay.
Second down.
Browns Raiders. This is kind of the hot mess bowl. Evan gives us hot mess rankings every week.
Hot mess bowl.
It's kind of the hot mess bowl. Both teams 2-8. Both teams have a lot of dysfunction, a lot of questions. Evan, we'll start with you. Are the Raiders the perfect opponent for Shedeur Sanders to make his starting debut?
Absolutely. You know what this feels like? This feels like the freshman quarterback that you can't decide if you want him to start week 1 or week 2. And then you realize week 1 is a money game, and you're like, all right, let's have him start week 1. Or you were the Cleveland Browns, and you were going to say, we're going to give each of the rookie quarterbacks an opportunity to start a handful of games. Where should we start Shedeur? For the final 7 games of the season, hypothetically? This is perfect. It's absolutely the right opportunity for him. The Raiders stink, and yes, it's the hot mess bowl. But is there anything more intriguing in the NFL this weekend than what Shedeur is as the full-time starter for this week with a week's worth of prep? I'm in on this game on Sunday.
I got to be honest with you. I know that the Eagles-Cowboys is in the 4 o'clock window, but I will have an eye on this game too.
Hell yeah.
I'm absolutely going to watch it because I want to see what this offense looks like as it's tailored towards Shedeur Sanders. I would anticipate a lot more under center, a lot more play-action passing because that plays to his strengths. But just as an aside, with this particular game, Myles Garrett is the heavy favorite to be Defensive Player of the Year. Is he going to break Michael Strahan's sack record? Is he going to break? Because right now he's on pace for 25.5 sacks.
Yeah. Now, how do you look at that? Because more games. Does he have to do it?
25.5 sacks is 25.5 sacks.
No, I know. But
he's got the record. He has the most sacks in a season in NFL history as far as I'm concerned. Like we can say that. How do we look at that? You got to remember, there are a lot of guys getting sacks before sacks was an official stat. So I'm just gonna say this: like if he breaks the sack record, that is absolutely incredible.
Can I add one on to you, CC, on this? I didn't even think about this.
Go for it.
So the Strahan sack record doesn't come without controversy because of the Favre give up on that final sack.
Yeah.
So I said, is it through 16 or 17? Let's say you say through 16. Who do they play in Week 16? The Steelers. Imagine Rodgers does the same thing. He's like, you know what? I've lived this Favre life. Let me add to this by laying down for Myles Garrett.
Books. Just go ahead and be in the books.
Oh, my God. How wild would that be?
That would be insane.
Can I just add one other thing on the Shedeur thing? I was thinking about the other day. I heard something and it triggered a thought. Shedeur playing well is such an important moment, not only for the Browns. If he plays well the remainder of the season and they believe he's a full-time starting quarterback, it completely changes the draft. One less team in the top 5 to 10 of the draft then needs a quarterback. And the Browns will have 2 first-round picks, theirs and Jacksonville's, to draft non-quarterbacks, which I know CC says even if they do need a quarterback, don't draft a quarterback. They're not ready for that. But don't eliminate the thought that him playing well has a trickle down to other teams around the NFL.
Okay, we have to put a pin in that because I do want to ask you, Evan, how good Shedeur has to be to not give it back to Dylan Gabriel the rest of the way. So we got to come back to that. Smalls?
Okay, pin in that. Next one.
Third down.
Jets-Ravens. CC, the Jets have the 20th ranked run defense. Could this be an opportunity for the Ravens to really get Derrick Henry going?
It could be an opportunity, but I think the most important thing is that the Ravens defense doesn't allow that Jets offense to get going. Tyrod Taylor is a capable passer. That passing game, now that it's got a couple of more weapons to throw the football to, they're spry. The New York Jets showed us against the New England Patriots that they're going to be game to give anybody a game. And so this is a spot where the Baltimore Ravens better be really careful. Derrick Henry, you obviously want to feature him, but I think the emphasis in terms of trying to win this football game has to be on the Ravens defense asserting their will against an uneven New York Jets offense.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Your point about getting Derrick Henry going, he hasn't had the season that you thought he would have, right? Mm-hmm. He hasn't had. Remember before the season, he goes on with Dan Patrick and he talks about wanting 2,000 yards to be in an Adam Sandler film, and we're all talking about the idea of could he get the 2,000 yards? Well, that ain't gonna happen, right? Obviously, but you kind of want to see what Smalls you're saying here in terms of a Derrick Henry game, where it's like, okay, well the Jets are playing hard right now for Aaron Glenn. And they're playing hard, and they still couldn't stop that guy, and that guy ran right through them. And don't eliminate this fact. I keep coming back to this. Lamar is now on a 1 missed practice per week, seemingly routine, based on injury. And it's different injuries, new injuries. Lamar Jackson is really banged up. And to steal a phrase from you, I don't know that we talk about that enough.
We aren't talking about it enough.
Yeah.
We're definitely not. Last one.
Fourth down.
You know what we have been talking about enough? Joe Burrow. Patriots-Bengals. Ev, can Joe Burrow do enough to upset your Patriots and keep the Bengals season alive?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but sure, can Joe Burrow do enough if he plays? Yeah. Are we sure he's going to play? Like, if you had to go to ESPN bet right now and bet, he's going to play?
You have 2 consecutive full participants in practice, he's going to play.
Yeah.
He's going to play. There's no question in my mind.
I also think you have to factor in one other thing here. Not to get too nitty-gritty, but arguably the Patriots' second best defensive player, Milton Williams, behind Christian Gonzalez, is out. Like, Joe Burrow being injured, having 2 guys like Milton Williams and Christian Barmore up the gut just going after him, obviously would be a problem. Milton Williams not there, so maybe he gets a tiny bit more time to throw. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a possibility of an upset, as much as it pains me to say it. Patriots have won a ton of games in a row. Maybe this is kind of the blip on the radar game where they lose this. Also, is there a little payback from a year ago where New England was a stinky team, but they beat Cincinnati? And how many times did we reference, CC, all year last year? Imagine if Cincinnati just beat the one team that they were clearly supposed to beat, New England. Right. Maybe they make the playoffs. That has to be in their mind, too.
Yeah, 1,000%. What becomes fascinating is what the New England Patriots what Mike Vrabel wants to do in terms of being able to attack Joe Burrow if he does, in fact, play. No Jamar Chase, so do you feel comfortable sending a little bit more pressure knowing that all you have to do is roll coverage toward T. Higgins and blanket those other guys? Or do you try to rely on your four-man pass rush and allow Joe Burrow to have time to go through his progression? I think it's fascinating to figure out what philosophy Mike Vrabel tries to employ when he tries to attack this offense with Joe Burrow as their quarterback.
We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Smalls and I for Wisconsin, Illinois. Live today, ESPN Madison. Cece, you said about the Browns, you wanted to get back to that. So let's jump back into that for a minute or two here. In terms of Shedeur and holding on to the job, what is your thought about that now moving forward?
Well, I mean, he's got to be compelling, right? And we know the Las Vegas Raiders are a soft spot to land when it comes to any quarterback because their defense is absolutely atrocious. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they did give the Denver Broncos a game, right? And they held the Broncos down. I think the final score of that game was 10-7. So we know that they are capable of being more competitive than what they showed Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys. But I guess the question now becomes, what is the bar to clear for Shedeur Sanders in order to give everybody, including Kevin Stefanski, confidence that he should have more opportunities to start, and that is in Week 13 and beyond. So I guess that's the question. How good does he have to be in order to compel the Cleveland Browns to give him the job in perpetuity? I don't have the answer to that, but I think it's more of a situation that you know it when you see it. And if Shedeur Sanders goes out there, multiple touchdowns, no turnovers, and finds a way to get a win on the road, then all of a sudden we have to lean in that direction in terms of him deserving more opportunities to see if he can be the long-term answer for the Cleveland Browns at quarterback for the rest of this season.
So here's what I'm looking for from Shedeur this weekend. Low number of attempts, low number of incompletions, no turnovers, ball security is job security. Let the defense win the game. Because Shedeur Sanders is a good pocket passer. Don't go backwards. Don't take the sacks that you took. Throw the ball away. Every drive ends in a kick, all the cliche stuff. Because the one thing about Shedeur that we have to point out, he's a smart quarterback, right? He knows how to stand in the pocket. And I think that one of the things for me is throw the ball away. It's okay.
You know what's interesting? You say he knows how to stand in your pocket. I'm not quite sure he does.
Okay,
that's the part.
Yeah.
That's the part that he needs to get better at. When the pocket is starting to break down around him, he wants to retreat out the back end of the pocket, and you just can't do that against these types of edge rushers in the NFL. He's going to have to learn how to step up, and if he can't step up, then he's got to find a way to get rid of the football. Like, that's the part of his game where he's got to evolve, and all of the best quarterbacks always find ways to win from the well, and that includes being able to avoid the negative plays, being able to avoid the sacks, and just getting rid of the football and living to fight another down.
Better said than I said. That what you said is what I was trying to get at in terms of he's a good pocket passer when he's able to pass. When the rush is there, instead of running backwards, throw the ball into the crowd. If you see Dion out there, throw to your dad. Like it's throw to your receivers or throw to your dad. Those are your two options because both actually work. All right, coming up. Schrags. Peter Schrager will join us. By the way, huge spot for him. Get up. Yeah. First take. Yeah. Monday Night Football. No. He was part of Word of the Day this week. We will get to that. It's coming up with Peter Schrager on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
Dear Santa, if you can make sure one